Here are 5 reasons to get your hands on a GRIIX. So the rumours are true. I have got my hands on a camera that is not Fujifilm. Yes, I have jumped on the bandwagon and I have got myself a RICOH GRIIX. Now why I got the X instead of the original will be included in this video, but I've had this camera for roughly 2 months now, and here are 5 reasons why I want to tell you why you should get your hands on this little beast. Now the first reason is obviously the size of the camera. I want to talk about this straight off because it is tiny. It's so pocketable, travel friendly. It almost looked kind of toy-like. When you get it in your hands, you can see there's a good build quality and the ergonomics are really actually quite nice. You can get a grip for the back here. I haven't got one yet, and maybe I have been toying with it, but we'll see. It's not been too necessary. One of the things I really like about this is when I've been out shooting, I feel I look more like a tourist instead of a street photographer. The way I hold the camera is obviously there's no EVF, which you can buy to go on top of the mount here, but I don't have one, and I was basically shooting from the hip or shooting up high or really being able to get different angles with this camera. This actually really is become an advantage, especially with street photography, and with such a powerful sensor in this body, which I'm surprised how they got it in here, is, you know, the image quality you're getting out of here is fantastic. It's a 24 megapixel camera. I'm blown away considering the size. I know people talk about this a lot, but this really is one of the main reasons why you want to get yourself a RICOH GR3 or 3X. Okay, reason number 2. This comes with a 2 GB internal memory. Now, if you're someone like me who from time to time is in a rush and forgets their SD card, then this camera can be a bit of a lifesaver. You can shoot probably around 140 JPEGs large when using the internal memory in this camera, which I think is fantastic. I think other camera manufacturers should take note of this. Just give us a few gigs to start off in our camera. The amount of times I have gone out to shoot, luckily for mainly personal use, but with professional I'm usually very much more diligent, but when I go out and I have forgotten an SD card and I can't even take one photo, that's a real bummer. So this can be a real lifesaver. And if you are a film photographer who has decided to quit shooting film because it's far too expensive at the moment, then go out, you've got 140 shots for the day, go take them, see what you can produce. I think it's not a bad little pro. Okay, reason number 3, in camera editing. You can take raw photos with this camera and then edit the photos in camera afterwards. Again, other manufacturers, take note, this is so good. We want to speed up our process, and if you can do these types of things in camera, affect the color, affect the grade, all those things, let's push towards that. They're really important to photographers like myself. I really appreciate them. And not only that, there is a camera sync app that RICOH uses. You can ping your RAWs over to your phone and edit on there. Again, another feature that not a lot of other camera manufacturers use. Like I said, we want to speed up our process of editing. We don't want to be taking out our SD cards, put them into our Mac or computer, upload them to Lightroom, edit them, export them. We just want to kind of speed up the process and feel excited about when we shot the photo to when we shared it. Like recently for me, when I was on a trip, I couldn't get to a Mac, so it was so beneficial for me to be able to edit this, you know, on my phone or in my camera and share them with the world. I really like this feature. Again, really small stuff sometimes, but makes a big difference. Reason number 4 is built-in IS. The built-in image stabilization in this camera is really good. It allows you to shoot up to 1/10 of a second, which is pretty impressive for something this small and not that weighty. I've yet to play around too much with the image stabilization. However, when I was run and gunning with this thing, I really noticed I was getting really sharp, clear pictures. They were really coming out very well, and so I think over time, when playing with this more, I'm really going to see the benefit of that IS in there. The 5th and probably my favourite reason to buy this camera is the RICOH recipes. Okay, so it might not be the most important thing, but the fact that you can produce your own recipes just like in the Fujifilm cameras is a real plus. Being able to manipulate your JPEGs in camera and produce real interesting tones and effects is such a plus. I absolutely love doing this with the Fujifilm recipes, and to now being able to do this with the RICOH recipes is fantastic. The guy who set up the Fujifilm recipe app also has produced a RICOH recipe app, so go check that out if you have one of these cameras. I think designing your own little recipe in these cameras is one of the most interesting things you can do. It really kind of lets you push your creativity with these cameras. I've yet to play with the RICOH recipes as yet. Like I said in my previous video, I have been away for a little while, but I'm back, and I'm probably one of my next future videos is going to be on these recipes, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to see what we can come up with and take it to the streets. I really think this is a fantastic camera for taking it to the street. It's a real beast of a camera. Like I said before, this is a tiny beast. Okay, so why did I choose the RICOH GR3X over the original GR3? Now for me, I am very rural, I'm very coastal, and like someone like James Popsy, I prefer a 40mm focal length, and that's basically what you're getting with the X over the 3. And I think if I lived in London or a city, you know, like that, from Tokyo, Milan, New York, any of them, I would probably maybe purchase the 3, the original. With the X, I just want that little bit extra focal length. I also like the separation between the subject and the background for portraits. I think that's a great kind of feature, and just being able to be a bit more of a fly on the wall. 40mm is really more my preferred focal length. You know, that's, for me, that's why I chose it. So who is this camera for? This is always kind of an awkward question because this camera's for anyone, but it does come with a big price tag. However, I do think it's worth the money because the image quality is so good and it's so pocketable, so travel friendly. It has become my new best friend as a travel companion, so it goes everywhere with me. I hate the cliches of everyday use, but it can fit in my bum bag or pocket so easily that it doesn't bother me. It's, you know, smaller than a phone. Like I said, this could be in my pocket all day and I wouldn't even know. Something with my XS20, that I do need a bag with that, and same with my XH2S. It's also probably aimed at street photographers, perfect for different angles, being a little bit kind of in the shadows, not too like a lurky kind of paparazzi kind of camera. It can aid you in getting some really good photos and keeping you kind of inconspicuous. Not to be and sound kind of creepy, but that's quite a bonus, I think. But yeah, no, it's an awkward question because anyone can buy this camera, but like, I would aim at people who are very photo dedicated, because I wouldn't ever probably use the video on this unless I really needed to. I think it only shoots like 1080p or something, I'm not sure, but this is dedicated for photographers. It's not a hybrid camera really, but for the price tag, I really do think you need to think about how you're going to use it and if it's going to be beneficial to you. If you're someone who loves to have a camera in their pocket all the time, then maybe this is for you. And if you travel a lot too and you want maybe something that you can put in your pocket with another camera, I think this is it's a great little backup camera if you don't want to be taking something too heavy out with you. It's a real good, you know, companion. I like the word companion. Good companion. Anyway, here are a few cons just to even out the review. It's not waterproof, so I wouldn't be going out in any hard rain. I'm sure a little bit of spit would be fine, but yeah, that's something, you know, that is always kind of nice to have. So I think the X100V has good housing, so something like that in this would be fab. The buttons on this thing are a little bit plasticky, but again, you know, nothing to really complain about hugely. It's just that they're a little bit plasticky and they could definitely do with an upgrade. And the battery life in this thing is not great at all. However, if you have a power bank, it does have a USB port, so you can charge this thing on the go. That's what I did when I was hiking in Spain, so you know, there are ways around things like that. But yeah, I mean, those three things would be great. Maybe in the next edition of this camera they'll update that, but they're not cons that would waver me from buying this camera. So yeah, and maybe, you know, there are some other cons out there, but these are just a few of mine, and like I said, they don't bother me too much. They're just things that I'd like to see an improvement on. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm sure we'll be making more videos on this camera in the future, so stay tuned. Let's make some waves, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.